welcome to the No Spin News for Thursday, September 19th, 2024. Stand up for your country. So the polls start to matter now, but the polls, some of them aren't honest. Now, I do my best to filter through it to explain to you who's bringing you data and the flaws in it. Earlier this week, we said, hey, we need gender on these polls because most American women, the majority of them, will vote for Kamala Harris. So if you poll more women than men, you're going to get a skewed result. Well, one polling agency said, okay, we're glad about that. You may remember this time 4 years ago, they didn't even tell you who they were polling as far as Republicans, Democrats, Independents. Now all of them do that. I'm taking credit, for this. But it's my job to keep all of these agencies honest, and I'm trying to do that. Now, I hope you are benefiting directly from our coverage here on BillO'Reilly.com and the No Spin News, our radio stations across the country, and our television outlets like The First, DirecTV, YouTube, on and on. I hope you are directly benefiting. I got to tell you, I'm looking around, and nobody has pointed it out. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Is anybody equal to us or better? I want to know about it, because I think we are far and away have the best coverage of this race. And there's no favor to it. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to vote for Kamala Harris, and I've said that. She represents a progressive movement that I think is extremely destructive to this country. And I don't care if Trump wants to eat parakeets, goldfish, whatever. It's the bigger picture that I look at as an American voter and as a news analyst. Okay? So the dopey stuff, I'm easily able to put that aside. We report it here because if I didn't know, I wouldn't be honest. But I'm just telling you how I process information. So the Talking Points memo tonight is again on the race. There's a new Ipsos poll out. Interesting poll. 1,027 adults, 84% registered voted, 14% not registered. Why bother Ipsos with 14% who are not registered to vote? Who cares what they think? Okay, they're not going to have any say at all in this election. It should be 100% registered voters. And even better than that, likely voters. Okay, that's when you really start to get it down. There's no reason for 14% non-registered voters to be in any poll. All right, they're idiots. Okay, gender, 51% female, 49 male. That means the Ipsos poll is skewed slightly toward Kamala Harris, but that could be a point or two. First question, to what extent do you support or oppose limiting the number of migrants who can claim asylum? Total support, 69%, overwhelming, okay? 27% opposed. Now, President Biden, by executive order, told Homeland Security to not impede anyone asking for asylum. That quickly got out. The cartels told everybody, and so everybody comes in and goes, oh, I want asylum. Biden didn't have to do that. He did it by himself. No Congress, no party. He did it by himself. Not only did he do that, but he ordered Mayorkas, Homeland Security, to let him go. Unattended into this country. We don't know where they are. That was perhaps the worst blunder of a president in modern times. That's why Joe Biden is ranked the second worst president ever in my book, Confronting the Presidents. He didn't have to do it. He did it alone. And who cheerleaded that? That would be Vice President Harris. For 3 years, Biden and Harris, for 3 years, told us border was secure. No problem. Keep that in mind. Your liberal friends, whatever, if you're discussing it, it's got to be civil. Can't be yelling at each other. All you got to do is say that. 3 years, this woman told the American people border was secure. She knew it wasn't. She said it was. That's the simplicity that we bring to this race. Second question. Do you support or oppose local law enforcement having the ability to detain migrants? Support 62, oppose 35. Another overwhelming majority. And that would be if a traffic stop, cop comes in, license registration, person doesn't have it, immediately detained. And if it's proven a certain person isn't a citizen, they can't produce any paperwork, then ISIS is called. ISIS. ICE is called. I'm sorry, I'm delirious today. I admit it. I'll try to cut down on the mistakes. ICE is called, not ISIS. Okay. I support that. I'm sure support that. Why wouldn't you do that? You're protecting people. That's why the police are there, to protect people. Third question. Do you support or oppose mass deportation of undocumented immigrants? Support 54, opposed 42. Now, it gets dicier here. So what does mass deportation mean? Nobody knows what it means because Donald Trump has not, and I don't think can, define what it means. He doesn't know. It's a great slogan, big applause line every time he says it, mobilizes his base. But how are you going to do it? Now, there's a way, and I'm going to tell you once again, I'm sorry to be repetitive, but this is the way you do it. Okay? You can't have people kicking doors in, chasing people around. Can't do that. What you can do is say to anyone in this country without documentation, you have 3 months. I had it originally at 6, but I'd bring it down to 3. You have 3 months, 90 days, to register with your local post office. Each post office will have a registration form. You're to fill it out, and then you send it to Homeland Security on an envelope that's already given to you. And the government pays the stamp. If you do not fill out the form, and the form would say, who are you? What country do you come from? Where are you living? Do you have a job? Do you have dependents, children? That kind of thing. It's a questionnaire. If you don't do it within 90 days and you're caught by the authorities, local, state, federal, you're deported without a hearing. No hearing. You're gone. If you're not in the database, the Homeland Security database, as filling out this form, you're out of here. You get detained until they can put you on a plane and send, or a bus and send you back to wherever. Now, Venezuela says not taking any more people back. Can't land the plane. I understand that. So those people, those Venezuelans, be dropped to Mexico. All right, you can walk back to Venezuela from there. But they're out of here. Okay, that's fair. Now, the people who do register, and it would be millions, then are assigned a hearing to get their status. So we have order, we know where the undocumented are, and we can do this in a humane, you want to call it humane, all right, whatever, but in a fair way. That's how you do it. Again, can't be raiding people, dragging them out in front of their kids are screaming. So the kid's an American citizen because he or she was born here, but the father and mother aren't. You can't. You can't. And the federal courts will stop you from doing that. If you're president or Congress or whatever, you pass a law, the authority's going to come in and drag you out and whatever. Feds will go, no. Why? Because as soon as you are on this soil in the United States, as soon as you are here, no matter documented, undocumented, doesn't matter, you get due process. That is the truth. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. They'd rather have people dragged out and thrown on. It's not going to happen. Okay, next poll question. Which of the following most important to you? Inflation, 57%. Immigration, 39%. Threats to democracy, whatever they are, 25%. Crime, corruption, 25%. Environmental climate change, 24%. So far and away, it's an economic race. And of course, when you ask Kamala Harris, how would you bring down inflation, as a journalist did earlier this week, she tells you about her middle-class upbringing. That's all you need to know. That's it. That's all you need to know. She has no idea how to do that. If I'm interviewing Kamala Harris, and you know what would happen, I would ask her the exact same question, and I wouldn't take the middle class. All right? I'd say, With all due respect, Madam Vice President, you didn't even come close to answering the question. Would you like a second shot at it? It's not a hard question. Might be a hard solution, but it's not a hard question. Next one. Which president of Canada do you believe do a better job handling immigration? Trump 44, Harris 34, neither 12. So I don't get the 34. I guess you guys want open borders. I don't think 34% of the American people want open borders. Doesn't really make, it's kind of a lot of hate Trump thing. If Trump would do what I just suggested in that registration process and methodically break down how he's going to do it, that number would go up to 60, I think. I could be wrong. Do you have a favorable or unfavorable opinion of Kamala Harris? 45 favorable, unfavorable 48. Now, Donald Trump, favorable 38, unfavorable 57. But that may not be accurate, Ipsos, because there's a Gallup poll that says differently, all right? So Gallup is a poll, put it out at the same time as the Ipsos poll, 1,007 U.S. adults. Again, why bother? Got to be likely or registered voters, Gallup. You should know that. Gender 50-50. Okay, good. You got that. Favorability, Donald Trump. Latest poll, 46. Okay? So that is 8% higher than Ipsos. Shows you about the polls. Trump has got a 46 favorable rating. Unfavorable 53. He's up 5 points since August, and I'll explain why in a moment. Harris, favorable 44. So in the Gallup poll, Trump's favorability is higher than Harris. Unfavorable 54, she's down 3 in favorability since August. So why is Trump up in the Gallup poll? It's the assassination situation. Stay with me here. And I did a message of the day where you'll be able to hear it. And I'll probably write a column on Sunday about it. When someone runs for president, they cease being a person. They become a caricature. So their supporters love them, they're the greatest, and their dissenters hate them, they're the devil. Not a person, it's a caricature. Both Trump and Harris are in that category now. They're not people. But once a tragedy befalls somebody, and, you know, having a bullet hit your ear, that qualifies, then they become human again. Okay? So to have it happen twice, people are taking another look at Trump now because of those circumstances, because two would-be assassins try to take him out. Then he becomes a person, not a caricature. That always drives favorability up in this country. Okay, now whether Donald Trump can sustain that momentum that he has in favorability, and I do believe he has it. I do believe that Trump now, momentum is with Trump. He was on Long Island, just a few miles from where I am right now, last night. 60,000 people wanted to see his speech. They could put 18,000 in to the Nassau Coliseum. I'll just give you 30 seconds of it. Go.
With your vote, we are going to rescue our country. We are going to rescue our Democrat-run states. We are going to start by saving the great state of New York. Is that good?
Very successful rally for Donald Trump. I don't think he's going to win New York State. We are here. The Democrats outnumber the Republicans on the voting rolls about 5-1. It's like California. However, New York needs to be saved. Okay? So it's not impossible, but with New York City and 50% of New York City workers were foreign born. 5-0. They're not illegal, but it's not the same crew as in Nassau County. The odds are he's going to lose New York, but He may be competitive here. If he wins New York, it's over. It's over. He wins the presidency. Now, it was smart for Trump to do the rally here, even though this isn't considered a swing state, because it's the media capital of the world, New York. And the clips got out everywhere. It was a huge success. I hearken back to the debate when Harris said, oh, you should go to a Trump rally, everybody's leaving early. Nobody left early. I had people there. Nobody. And Harris could not get close to 60,000 people wanting to see anything that she does anywhere, even if she goes to San Francisco. She's not going to get that. So that's just a little aside. Now, there's a downside for Donald Trump's rally, and that is that he will get intoxicated by the adulation. I know this is a long talking points memo, but it's an important one. So Trump has a tendency to believe that his rallies reflect the popular vote. They do not. His people, MAGA, are much more enthusiastic than Harris's people. Harris's support very thin, even among the progressives, very thin. Trump's fanatical support. So Trump equates that with the polling. That's a mistake. Don't get intoxicated by the rallies. They're good for him, obviously lifts his morale, and everything goes his way on that evening. But it is not a harbinger, word of the day, of what's to come. That's number one. Number two, there will be a bad moon rising. Now, we had a full moon this week. The next full moon, the corporate media, and everybody knows it's corrupt. The corporate media itself knows it's corrupt. They just don't care. They're going to go increasingly desperate as Kamala starts to waver. I don't see any way. And that's why I think Trump's not going to debate. I suggested he do debate, second debate. But I think the strategy is she doesn't have anything except the debate. We're not going to give her another one. I think that's what it is. So Harris probably is not going to gain fire. Doesn't answer questions, totally inarticulate. Oprah's going to be with her today. That doesn't matter. Taylor Swift doesn't matter. I mean, they're talking to the choir over there. To really gain momentum, I don't see how Harris does it. So the Trump people say, look, we're just going to do what we do. We think we'll overcome any slight polling lead she may have. That's the thinking. But a bad moon rising is that the media is going to become desperate and create stuff to try to hurt Trump. Okay? Now, you may have heard that confronting the presidents is number one on the New York Times list, and I'll deal with that at the end of the program. But my attorneys and me, we are prepared now for attacks on me and the book. Now, I hope they don't come, but we are prepared because that's what always happens in this country. All right. Finally, the October surprise is likely to be contrived by the press, not a Biden, I can't run again, not assassination attempts. The press is going to cook it. And we're here to watch all of this very, very closely, which is why I think you're here. And that's the memo. The Biden-Harris economy continues to burden the average American with flat wages, higher prices. People are covering expenses with credit cards. And if you're a homeowner and frustrated with that cycle, you can make a 10-minute no-obligation call today with my friends at American Financing. Interest rates are coming down. They are now in the low fives. And if you're constantly carrying a credit card balance each month with a rate in the 20s, American Financing can help put your hard-earned equity to work to get out of debt. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are saving customers an average of $800 a month. And if you get started today, you may not have to make next month's mortgage payment. So please call American Financing today at 888-462-9557. 888-462-9557 or visit AmericanFinancing.net. Okay, our YouTube address. You need to sign up free. YouTube.com/Bill O'Reilly. I'm going to be talking about Donald Trump over the weekend. I'll file that tonight. And the real Donald Trump. All right. I think you'll find this very interesting. So we're going to do that on YouTube. Please sign up for that. And let's go to the mail. We got John, concierge member. Remember, if you become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member, you get Confronting the Presidents free or any of my other killing books. Now, that's the best deal I can do. If you don't take the deal, I don't know what to do. It's a fabulous deal. John, when someone tells me that Trump is a threat or wants to be a dictator, my response is Trump was president for 4 years, did not go after his political opponents. He didn't try to censor anyone or take away our freedom of speech. Absolutely right. And that's the way to do it. Counter this propaganda with facts. Lloyd, no. Lloyd says that Trump is going to educate people on basic economics. I don't know about that, Lloyd. He's more of an emotional guy. Francois, Putin's economy is not tottering at all. He's selling every drop of oil he wants to China and India at a big profit. Bill O'Reilly needs to wake up. Francois, I'm wide awake. Look at my eyes. Francois, I want you to read an article just came out, okay, by Business Insider. The headline of the article is, Russia's oil revenue has plunged as global crude prices tumble. Just that, Francois, looking out for you, man. I don't want you to be misstating. David, concierge member, thank you, David. Coming from a family with a military veteran legacy, as well as being a Navy veteran myself, nothing short of full removal of all Russian military assets from the entirety of Ukraine would be an acceptable ceasefire negotiation. Not going to happen. So you'll have war ad infinitum forever. Not going to happen. What should happen is, and Putin would agree to this, I believe, they have some kind of vote in the Russian majority provinces of Ukraine. And that'd take forever, but that's how you calm it down. John Messersmith, Milkoville Hill, Quebec. All right. No, this is Queensland. I can't even read here. Queensland, Australia. There's with John, mate. He's down in Queensland, Australia. Refreshing to hear CNN political correspondent Scott Jennings disparage Democrats on his own network by debunking the hate Trump rhetoric. Bill, I think your message to the corrupt media is making inroads. I'm not sure it is. We've seen a little bit of a modification, but it's still nasty as hell up here, John. I don't know how it is in Australia, but I think you get a little raucous down there as well. We have Brian Lewis, who's in Trinidad, Tobago. I have never been. I want to go because there's great diving in Trinidad, Tobago. Here's John. Democrats win in 24. I predict overseas investors will withdraw billions of dollars. Not a bad prediction, because certainly overseas investors aren't going to want to pay an enormous amount of tax on their investments here. But not a bad prediction. We have Greg, and I'm going to scold Greg, so I'm not going to give the last name, in Connecticut. I feel that Donald Trump is the greater evil in our country. As a Catholic, I see him as more dangerous for our future than a pro-abortion candidate. Okay, Greg, but it's not about you, is it? Is it? If you're a Catholic, it's about the unborn. And trust me, they don't see, if they could see, Donald Trump is a danger because they get born, many, many more of them, under him than under Harris. Think about that. I mean, that's a huge thing. And Americans say, oh, abortion, yay, 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 reproductive rights. Yay. Just think of what it does. Think about it. Dave Patterson, Summit, New Jersey. Bill, I believe you should never stop learning, and your books make sure I'm always learning. Did it again with Confronting the Presidents. The way you write puts textbooks to shame, of course. Thanks so much. So we write history in what they call an accessible way. It's fun. And that drives the regular historians nuts because their books aren't fun. My books outsell their books. There's not even a number to attach to it. And that's why they don't like it. Debbie Butts, Thomasville, Georgia, loved, I love to hear that word, Debbie, loved Confronting the President, read in one day. It's now my favorite, second to Killing the Witches. Interesting. I'm a long-distance cousin of Harry Truman. Truman used to go to church with my grandparents in Missouri. I learned more about Truman than I realized I would. The Truman chapter, and if you read Killing the Rising Sun, Debbie, we really zero in on Truman in that book. But in Presidents, Confronting the Presidents, we have a very measured and good Truman chapter. We got Richard Wasserman in Ottawa, Canada, the capital of the country. I wonder, does not former President Trump listen to his debate advisors? I don't know. He's listened to me a couple of times recently, but by and large, the cliche is he marches to a different drummer. The BillO'Reilly.com store wants you to check out our political memorabilia, which you can keep forever. Team Normal mug, not woke mug, no socialism. We got it bundled up, made in America, tremendous price. We got a special leather-bound edition of Killing Patton. This is a special gift for somebody. Really is beautiful. And we got the baseball caps, all right? We got Team Normal baseball caps. I told that story. I was walking on the beach in eastern Long Island, and kind of an older guy walked up, and he had the Team Normal baseball cap on. I had glasses on and stuff, and I go, hey, where'd you get that? He goes, oh, Bill O'Reilly store, I got it. And I said, I don't know about that O'Reilly guy. And he goes, no, I like him. And then I took the glasses off. I said, thanks. The guy like this. Very funny. Okay, so that's the mail, and we'll get to the final thought in a moment. Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. America is at a breaking point. Record inflation, interest rates, debt. The last thing we need is more reckless government spending and higher taxes, and they could happen. But a Harris presidency could bring us into that zone, plus a hit to your retirement savings. So protect your savings with American Hartford Gold. They'll help you secure your retirement by diversifying with physical gold and silver. Start with a simple phone call. They'll guide you through the process, even deliver gold and silver right to your door, or place it directly in your IRA or 401k. Don't wait. These safe haven assets can protect you in an economic crisis. Call or text American Hartford Gold today. Tell them O'Reilly sent you to get up to $15,000 of free silver on qualifying orders. Call 866-501-5201. That's 866-501-5201. Or text Bill to 65532. Again, 866-501-5201. Or text Bill to 65532. Hey, you didn't vote for this economy. I know I didn't. But we all pay for it at the pump, the grocery store, and through that stack of unpaid bills. Financial stress is crushing. So what's the solution? DoneWithDebt.com. Unlike others, Done with Debt has new aggressive strategies that free you from debt without bankruptcy or loans. They will negotiate with your creditors so that you'll have more money in your pocket on month one and every month until you're debt-free. And the best news? Done with Debt is accepting new clients, but don't wait. Some of their best debt strategies are time-sensitive. Let Done with Debt hit the debt reset button for you and make your money yours again. Don't forget, this is time-sensitive, so visit donewithdebt.com or call 888-322-1054. Chat with some of their debt relief strategists for free. Go to donewithdebt.com. That's donewithdebt.com. Final thought. You may have heard, because I'm bragging about it all over the place. That's just who I am. We're number one on the New York Times list. 19th time. 19th. That's a record. We are the best-selling nonfiction authors, Martin Dugard and I, in the world. More number one times bestsellers than any other human being on earth. That's pretty stunning. And they don't even like me. It's because of you. I know. I know why. And, you know, I thank you very much. I know you'll enjoy the book. All right. So I'm going to write a column, pretty provocative column on Sunday about the presidential race, because that's where we are. We're deeply embedded in that. I got a YouTube coming up this weekend, so check out that channel. We'll have a message of the day tomorrow, a new one. So we're always busy on a weekend, and we'll see you again for the No Spin News on Monday. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.